Hello. So for me, pedagogy is a huge priority. I want my students to enjoy their time in my classroom, to feel like they are valued and that they are loved, and to one day look back at their time with me and hopefully feel very positively about it and have a lot of experiences that they take away from it. I feel like there's a lot of pieces to pedagogy, and one of them is definitely relationship. I think that that's super important, and it can be something that is a catalyst for a teacher. So I prioritize unique and meaningful relationships with each of my students. I want them to know that I care about them individually and that I'm listening to what they say and that I want good for them. So there's a lot of different ways that I try to do this. It could be greeting them when they're walking in the room. It could be smiling at them or talking to them every time I see them in the hallway. It is having circles where we get to talk and share about our feelings. It could be a weekend update where we talk about what we did on the weekend on Mondays, or a holiday update where they share about their holiday. Just going out of my way to give them the opportunity to express themselves and to share about their lives when they want to, but then also making an intentional decision to listen and check back in with them. So if they share something with me, I try really hard to remember and then also bring it up at a later date so that they know that it's something that I cared about and I was actually listening and I care to know how it's going now. So just a lot of conversation with an emphasis on listening. I also try to have positive contact with families, as well as go to sporting events when I can if they invite me. Just doing what I can to build those relationships. It's kind of funny, by the end of the year, I feel like they're my friends and they're my family, and I fall in love with them. And I find myself talking to other adults about, oh, my friend said blah, blah, blah. And I'm really talking about a student. And so they kind of make fun of me. But, I mean, these kids turn into my family. And so that's something that I want them to feel and to know that I care more about them than I do how they perform on an assessment. The next part of pedagogy that I feel like is important is creating a learning experience that is memorable, engaging, and effective. So not just having fun, but having fun in a way that promotes curiosity and discovery and encouraging them to be creative and critical thinkers. So I love PBLs. I think they're super fun. Selfishly, I like to create them. I like the flow that it provides in a classroom of student discovery and trial and error and design and all of that. I really love it. And so for me, creating that for the students is super important. I want them to love school. I want them to build things. I want them to create things that they're proud of and have experiences that they are able to reference whenever they think about content. So those moments when they are answering questions on an assessment and they get to say, hey, I actually did this, or I remember when we did this, blah, blah, blah. That to me is super important, that it's not just written words or things that I'm saying. It's experiences and it's hands-on learning that they love. And I love when they are excited to come to my class. I think that that's great because I get just as excited when I'm prepping for class. And so I love that we share in those experiences together. Selfishly, I don't want to be a teacher that talks all day. I don't want to be a teacher that hands out worksheets and watches students push a pencil. So it's kind of a mutually beneficial situation that I enjoy my job because I get to do all of these things. And so I feel like they enjoy my class because they get to do those things. And so I'm really grateful for that portion of pedagogy that I get to explore. Lastly, I felt like this year, part of my pedagogy was adjusting and being flexible as well as extending grace. This year, we asked our students to do the impossible. We gave them a whole new style of learning. We gave them a whole new style of education in general, as well as, hey, you have to experience this wild pandemic that is going across the world, as well as all these lifestyle changes, new school, that new school way of learning, all of these things, but you have to do it with a good attitude. You still have to perform at these standards. I understand there was a lot of pressure. And I was able to look at myself and say, hey, I understand that feeling. I feel like my job has changed, and I've been given almost an impossible job. And so the grace that I expected or I desired, I was able to turn around and give it to them and say, listen, I understand that feeling of anxiety, and I understand that feeling of feeling lost and feeling like you're starting over, and I want to help guide you through that. And I was also able to model that to them, like, hey guys, I understand what it's like to be frustrated because things are changing and everything is new, but here's how you don't let your circumstances dictate your emotions or your feelings. Here's how you deal with unfavorable outcomes or frustrating circumstances in a positive way. And so while it was frustrating, we had many times where things just weren't working the way they were supposed to do, or I was learning and things just weren't what I thought they were going to be. But I was able to, in many cases, just show them, like, you know what, guys, it's not working, and that's okay. Close your Chromebook. We're going to go back to what we know. And so I think that was a large part of my pedagogy as well, is just saying, like, hey, I understand what you're feeling because I'm feeling it as well, and here's a positive way to deal with it. Anyways, I really feel like pedagogy is important, and I hope that you are able to see that whenever observing my classroom or talking to my students or anything like that, because it is something that I feel like is a priority for me, and I value that I get to work at a school that lets me explore pedagogy the way that I do.